With profound, humble gratitude and love to all venerated enlightened masters, we bow to the Almighty in soulful gratefulness for gifting us with their holy blessed presence. May all beings be awakened by their divine grace.
Part 1 of 4.
Etc.
Be vegan, make peace, do good deeds, heaven Godspeed.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Does a man who practices gymnastic exercises pay attention to the praise and opinion of everyone, or of that one man only who happens to be a physician or teacher of the exercises? Please continue watching for more philosophical wisdom of Socrates, vegetarian.
If most people were able to see the mistreatment of these animals at factory farms and what goes on behind the scenes before it shows up to them in a nice shiny package, they would be sick. It's very easy to find it on the internet. Stop pretending you can't find it and look it up. Andy Lawley, vegan.
Courageous viewers, when traveling to Kosovo, you might hear Pershëndetje, which means hello in Albanian. I am Bajram. The kind-hearted Kosovars applaud your efforts in spreading the compassionate vegan lifestyle wherever you go. We share your ideal to create a more compassionate world. Welcome to Surrendering to Divine Providence. Selections from Crito by Plato, Vegetarian, Part 2 of 2, on Words of Wisdom. The venerated Socrates, vegetarian, was born in Athens, Greece, circa 470 BC. Many people consider him to be the father of Western philosophy. Others think of him as an insightful teacher and an enlightened master. Socrates believed that an individual's main purpose on earth was to discover the truth. He stated that most people focus their lives around their families, careers, and social responsibilities, when in fact they should be concerned about the welfare of their souls. With compassion for all life, Socrates followed and promoted a vegetarian diet. Most of the information about Socrates, vegetarian, his life and his philosophy was transcribed after his departure by two of his students, Plato, vegetarian, and Xenophon, vegetarian. These disciples wrote about their master in several books, in which Socrates is depicted as the main character. Originally written in 360 BC by Plato, vegetarian, Crito depicts a conversation between Socrates and his faithful friend Crito while he is awaiting execution in prison from an unjust trial against him. Here Socrates explains the divine concept that it is unacceptable to repay evil with evil and that one should not pay too much attention to what the majority think, but rather follow the direction of the Divine Providence. During a lecture in Costa Rica in 1989, Supreme Master Chinhai, vegan, spoke of the sacrifices that the saints, including Socrates, vegetarian, made to enlighten people and why they are the greatest peacemakers.
All the saints in the past worked very hard to enlighten people, even though by doing so, they have to endure many kinds of criticism, misunderstandings, and hardships, sometimes even risking their lives, such as in the case of Jesus and Socrates. Also Buddha, many people wanted to kill him, also tried to blacken his name. But despite all of this difficulty, the saints always endure for the sake of people. The saints are the greatest peacemakers, the greatest politicians who always bring peace into the world, the king without any throne, because they don't need anything in this world.
Today we would like to present excerpts from Crito by Plato, vegetarian, where Crito enters Socrates' cell very early in the morning to persuade Socrates to use the escape route that had already been prepared for him. However, Socrates resolved to surrender himself to the will of Providence instead. Socrates said, "My dear Crito, your zeal would be very commendable were it united with right principle. Otherwise, by how much the more earnest it is, by so much is it the more sad. We must consider, therefore, whether this plan should be adopted or not. For I, not now only but always, am a person who will obey nothing within me but reason, according as it appears to me on mature deliberation to be best. Consider then, does it not appear to you to have been rightly settled that we ought not to respect all the opinions of man, but some we should, and others not? What say you? Is not this rightly resolved?" Crito affirmed, "It is." Socrates then asked, "Come then, how again were the following points settled? Does a man who practices gymnastic exercises and applies himself to them pay attention to the praise and censure and opinion of everyone, or of that one man only who happens to be a physician or teacher of the exercises?" Crito said, "Of that one only." Socrates expounded, "He ought therefore to fear the censures and covet the praises of that one, but not those of the multitude. He ought therefore so to practice and exercise himself, and to eat and drink, as seems fitting to the one who presides and knows, rather than to all others together." Crito agreed, "It is so." Socrates continued, "Well then, if he disobeys the one, and disregards his opinion and praise, but respects that of the multitude and of those who know nothing, will he not suffer some evil? But what is this evil? Where does it tend? And on what part of him that disobeys will it fall?" Crito answered, "Clearly on his body, for this it ruins." Socrates expounded, "You say well. The case is the same, too, Crito, with all other things, not to go through them all. With respect, then, to things just and unjust, base and honorable, good and evil, about which we are now consulting, ought we to follow the opinion of the multitude, and to respect it, or that of one if there is anyone who understands, whom we ought to reverence and respect rather than all others together? And if we do not obey him, shall we not corrupt and injure that part of ourselves which becomes better by justice, but is ruined by injustice? Or is this nothing?" Crito replied, "I agree with you, Socrates." Socrates continued, "Come then, if we destroy that which becomes better by what is wholesome, but is impaired by what is unwholesome, through being persuaded by those who do not understand, can we enjoy life when that is impaired? And this is the body we are speaking of, is it not?" Crito replied, "Yes." Socrates asked, "Can we then enjoy life with a diseased and impaired body?" Crito answered, "By no means." Socrates then expounded, "We must not then, my excellent friend, so much regard what the multitude will say of us, but what he will say who understands the just and the unjust, the one, even truth itself. So that at first you did not set out with a right principle when you laid it down that we ought to regard the opinion of the multitude with respect to things just and honorable and good and their contraries. However, someone may say, are not the multitude able to put us to death?" Crito replied, "This, too, is clear, Socrates. Anyone might say so." Socrates further said, "You say truly, But my admirable friend, this principle which we have just discussed appears to me to be the same as it was before. And consider this, moreover, whether it still holds good with us or not, that we are not to be anxious about living but about living well. Socrates continued, from what has been admitted, then this consideration arises, whether it is just or not that I should endeavor to leave this place without the permission of the Athenians. But as to the considerations which you mention of an outlay of money, reputation, and the education of children, beware, Crito, lest such considerations as these in reality belong to these multitudes who rashly put one to death and would restore one to life, if they could do so without any reason at all. Say we, then, that we should on no account deliberately commit injustice, or may we commit injustice under certain circumstances, under others not? Or is it on no account either good or honorable to commit injustice, as we have often agreed on former occasions, and as we just now said, whether the multitude allow it or not, and whether we must suffer a more severe or a milder punishment than this, still is injustice on every account both evil and disgraceful to him who commits it. Do we admit this or not? Crito replied, we do admit it. Socrates stated, on no account therefore ought we act unjustly. Crito agreed, surely not. Socrates finally said, desist then, Crito, and let us pursue this course, since this way the deity leads us. For more information, please visit Project Gutenberg or gutenberg.org.
Making war? Don't you hear what the devils are saying to you? Ah, bravo! Welcome to our hellfire.
Spiritual viewers, it was a joy that you could join us today for Words of Wisdom. Coming up next is The Greenest Heroes Gala, Part 11 of a multi-part series, right after noteworthy news. May you find solace in God's embrace during trying times.
Peace for Ukraine or Urane.
Be vegan, make peace, do good deeds, hell not reach.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule and suprememastertv.com/WOW.
Nos programmes offrent plusieurs langues. Veuillez visiter suprememastertv.com/schedule et suprememastertv.com/WOW.
Nuestros programas ofrecen varios idiomas. Visiten suprememastertv.com/schedule y suprememastertv.com/WOW.
Наші програми пропонуються на багатьох мовах. Будь ласка, завітайте suprememastertv.com/schedule і suprememastertv.com/WOW.